Please be aware, in this podcast series we talk about all areas of safeguarding, which some people may find upsetting. So please make sure you're okay listening to today's topic. Be mindful of those around you, such as children, that you might not want to listen in. Hi, I'm SSS Safeguarding Director Sam Preston.
And I'm former head teacher and content author Sara Spinks.
Female genital mutilation. Just a word of caution. Today's conversation does include disturbing content and descriptions of mutilation and its consequences.
So today we're delving into a topic that's not new on the safeguarding radar, but a topic that demands urgent attention: female genital mutilation, or FGM. So FGM is a deeply concerning issue that affects millions of women and girls worldwide. And today we're going to explore what FGM is, its types, consequences, and the legal framework surrounding it.
Yeah, I think it'd be fair to say there's lots of misconceptions about FGM. And these misconceptions really were partly responsible for the UK government to introduce mandatory reporting procedures, and they were introduced in 2015. I should just say before this, the devolved parliaments, particularly in Scotland, had already introduced measures. So the new UK-wide procedures for reporting FGM were introduced, making it mandatory. That means you have to do it. Mandatory for social workers, healthcare professionals and teachers to report cases of FGM.
So just to be clear, a mandatory requirement means that it is compulsory, doesn't it, Sam?
Yeah, it's required by law.
So Sam, let's start with the basics. What exactly is female genital mutilation?
Well, it's a form of child abuse. It involves the partial or total removal of the external female genitalia for non-medical reasons. It can lead to extreme physical and psychological suffering for women and girls. And there are 4 types of FGM which are categorised based on the procedures involved.
I know that type 1, known as Sunna circumcision, involves the removal of the prepuce and part of all of the clitoris, whereas type 2, called excision, involves the partial or entire removal of the clitoris, the labia majora and the labia minora.
Yeah, that's right. So types 1 and 2 account for the majority of FGM cases, but the most extreme form is type 3, infibulation, and that's where the clitoris and the adjacent labia are removed and the vaginal opening is stretched closed. And there's type 4. This is the use of Anguria and Gasheri cuts. The term Anguria cuts, that describes the scraping of the tissue around the vaginal opening. Gasheri cuts are posterior or backward. So they're backward cuts from the vagina into the perineum. And these procedures often result in vescovaginal fistulae. That's an abnormal connection between the bladder, which usually stores urine, and the vagina. So this will cause urine to leak from the vagina. And as you know, the vagina is not designed to hold urine. And it can also damage the anal sphincter, leading to bowel leakage. So in essence, we're talking about a procedure that causes both urinary and fecal incontinence.
Oh, my word, all types are absolutely dreadful. And I think it's really important to note that FGM has immediate and long-term health consequences, including infection, chronic pelvic complications, and psychological trauma.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the consequences, as you say, there are really severe long-term health consequences. So it's important to understand that whilst FGM is prevalent in certain regions, it occurs in migrant communities globally. So the World Health Organization estimates that over 200 million girls and women have been subjected to FGM in the 30 countries in Africa, the Middle East and Asia, where FGM is concentrated. But in the UK, it's estimated that around 137,000 women have undergone FGM. And according to government data, some 60,000 girls under 15 years of age are at risk. So legislation such as the Female Genital Mutilation Act is aiming to address and prevent FGM.
Now, the Act includes provisions for female genital mutilation protection orders, which I understand it are civil measures to protect girls from FGM.
Yeah, that's right, Sarah. So this is a family court order which can be made for the purpose of protecting a girl or a woman against the commission of an FGM offence. And there are several offences in law. So that is protecting a girl or a woman at risk of FGM, or protecting a girl or a woman against whom an FGM offence has been committed. And you can apply for a protection order if you or someone you know is at risk of FGM. And this will help to keep the individual or the person you know safe from another person known legally as the respondent. So that's someone else, a multi-agency partner can also apply for a protection order on a person's behalf. So really there are legal means to protect and safeguard victims and potential victims of FGM.
I know that there are various offences related to FGM. Do you think this is well understood, Sam?
No, actually I don't. Probably because it's been an evolving process for the legal system to develop to meet, just how this abuse may occur. So it's worth noting, for instance, this month, we've seen for the first time in the Met's police history, officers secured justice for a female genital mutilation incident which occurring abroad, and this was only the second time in UK history that somebody has been convicted of an FGM offence since it became illegal in 1985.
So can you give us a quick overview? What should we know?
Okay, so there's 4 FGM offences under the Act currently, as we should say at the time of recording. The primary offence of FGM, so that includes the excision, that's, as we've said, to cut away or to cut off, to infibulate, that's to close off or obstruct, or otherwise mutilate the whole or any part of a girl's labia majora, labia minora, or clitoris. Then there's assisting a girl to mutilate her own genitals. Then there's an offence of assisting a non-UK person to mutilate a girl's genitals overseas. And then finally, failing to protect a girl from the risk of FGM.
And I think additionally, since 2015, there's been a mandatory reporting duty, hasn't there, for professionals who suspect cases of FGM?
Yeah, that's as we alluded to earlier. Interestingly, the failure to protect a girl from the risk of FGM, that applies to girls under 16. However, education, healthcare and social professionals are required to report cases of FGM to the police if they discover a girl under 18 has undergone FGM, and failure to comply can also result in disciplinary action.
And it's essential for professionals to be aware of the indicators of FGM risk, such as family's origin from a community known to practice FGM, or a child expressing anxiety about certain ceremonies, or even excitement, it can be as well, can't it?
Yeah, absolutely. So by understanding the signs and consequences of FGM and fulfilling our reporting duties, we can work towards ending this harmful practice and supporting its victims. So I think it'd be really useful, Sarah, if we just looked at the signs that professionals should be aware of.
Well, as previously said, first and foremost, the family's cultural background plays a significant role. If a child's family originates from a community known to practice FGM, or If there's information suggesting they plan to travel to a country where FGM is prevalent, it raises red flags. Additionally, certain parental behaviours can raise concerns. For instance, if a parent requests permission for a child to travel overseas for an extended period during the academic year, it may warrant further investigation. Another concerning sign is when a parent seeks to withdraw their child from learning about FGM in school. Education about FGM is crucial in prevention efforts. So any attempts to prevent a child from receiving this information, it should be taken seriously. And a key one is if a child expresses anxiety or, as I said, even excitement about a special ceremony or traditional custom, it could indicate that they're aware of the risks associated with FGM and they may need support and intervention. And finally, another indicator is if another family member is known to have previously undergone FGM. So that increases the likelihood that female children in the family may also be at risk.
Yeah. So these factors, when we observe them collectively, they really form a picture of concern that requires immediate attention and safeguarding action. As you've rightly said, Sarah, education and awareness are key in the fight against FGM. And if you'd like to know more about this subject, then do check out our training. You can access that on our website. I just want to finish today by saying, if you have concerns about a person or yourself, you have if you have information about FGM related offending, you can call the police on 101. As soon as you make that call to the police, anonymity starts as soon as an allegation of FGM is made to the police, and that ensures victims and survivors are protected, whatever the outcome is of the investigation or indeed a prosecution. There's also the FGM helpline, and I'll just give you the number. It's 0800 028 3550. That's 0800 028 3550. So if you know someone who you believe to be at immediate risk, you can also call 999 immediately.